right. Hey, it's Daisha D.
And it's Jay Stan.
And welcome back to the In Retrospect podcast, where we look beyond the surface to find understanding.
Bring you laughs, knowledge, and culture.
So sit back, relax, and join the convo. So today I want to introduce our special guest, Kendall Cox. He is in Charleston by way of Sumter, South Carolina. And he also has a podcast called The Backwoods that I'll make sure to put in the description box below so y'all can check his out. So I'm just going to jump right in to the topic. So something that came up this past week was Mr. Nick Cannon. Okay, we all know him, love him. He's a producer, he's an actor. I guess we could say he did music at one point.
He did. Gotta give him his credit now.
Okay, he did music at one point, radio show host, TV show host. But anyway, so he went on to his new daytime talk show and announced that he was having his 8th baby. I think with the 6th mother, that's what I want to say. Yeah, she's the 6th mother and he's having his 8th baby. Now this comes like 2 months after the death of his last child, who I think was like about 5 months old. So he celebrated this big gender reveal with the new girl. He said the next mother, that's how he described her. That's how he described her. And he got a lot of backlash because, you know, he announced this special celebration of a new baby when he just lost, 1-2 months ago. So before I even go any further, I want to know, what are y'all's initial thoughts on this story?
That man is building a legacy. That's my initial thoughts. He's having an 8th baby. Hey, he just want a big family. As long as he take care of all of them, treat everybody the same, love everybody. I don't see a problem with it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, man, where it's like people usually have, nowadays, what I've noticed growing up is people have a lot of kids for one reason or multiple reasons. I know a lot of people that if they're doing something illegally and they know they're about to go away and do a bid for a long period of time, they'll be shooting out as many kids as possible. That way, you know what I'm saying? Like you said earlier, they have a legacy. Somebody out here to do something. I'm just saying, the boys can plug up. You got participants. You got people that are ready to sign up.
Right.
You got that with people that, I'm about to go to jail. I'm getting this fast money, this fast cash. Well, I'm make sure I got, a legacy out here to keep it moving, even though they ain't gonna have no father figure, but that's just how some cats think. You know what I'm saying? And then you also got the perspective from somebody that may possibly be ill. If somebody is ill, then they'll be like, oh, I need to, leave something behind. And, that's the way they go. They have a bunch of kids sometimes, or multiple kids. So, I mean, that's just one thing that happens.
That's his claim. That's his claim that he, it was a couple of years ago, he was in the hospital for lupus. And he was...
He's also been having a lot of blood clots lately within the last, 3 to 4 months.
So that's what I'm saying. But when he initially had that huge health scare with the lupus and was told that he likely wouldn't have a long life, that's, I guess, when something changed in his brain of okay, well, I need to have as many kids as possible. I guess, like Kendall said, to have a legacy.
Yeah, to keep this legacy going, keep everything moving. I guess that's what he wants to do.
It's also one of those things too, man, where it's just like, people, first thing that may come to somebody's mind, he got money, he can do that. But I know people that ain't got no money and they doing the same thing. So we gotta think from the perspective, what really makes somebody want to do that. So that's why I gave those scenarios earlier, maybe somebody living that fast life, or you got somebody not doing well and they just having a bunch of kids. I mean, this is a real thing. My initial thought when this happened was his health must not be doing well because, he's been having these blood clots going on for the past, every 6 to 8 months, he's having blood clot scares, and blood clots kill people. That's not, you hear about a lot of people recovering from, but you can die.
I guess to me, it seems selfish because if I'm being told that I'm not going to live very long, why am I then going to create so many children that are going to have to live without me? You need money to support them financially, but there's a difference.
He got that.
Right.
He got that.
This is my thing though.
Generations.
there's a difference between being a present parent and an active parent. There is no humanly possible way for Nick Cannon to be an active parent with 6 different households and 8 children while he's working 8+ jobs. There is no way. Even if
Are they all in the same house?
Nah, you think Mariah Carey living?
Hey, it's possible.
He
can own a lot of land. He can own the whole neighborhood, have them all in the same neighborhood.
I don't think that they're nah. Listen, I know I wouldn't. I know I would not want to be in a house with 8 kids and 5 other women. What is this? A compound?
Like, hey, listen, he building a legacy. You can have a compound for everybody. Everybody be living good.
Okay, well, let's break. What is legacy? Let's break that down. What does that mean to y'all? Because I've heard the word
like. It mean to us.
I can compare it. I can compare it to the Waynes, if you want to look at it like that. Like how the Wayne. What you said?
I said, tell me more. You said
kind of like how they have a big family, and all of them got in. Well, not all of them, but majority of them got into comedy and all that type of stuff, or they did some sort of what the rest of the family members were doing, so they was able to keep money keep flowing into the pot, and then they have their kids, and then it just keeps going for generations. I don't know if I explained it quite. It might sound confusing, but
no. I understood what you said. Justin, you look like you had something to say to that.
Oh no, I completely agree. It's just one of those things. Legacy is leaving a piece of yourself behind in some form of fashion. Even though some people may look at legacy as don't do
property.
that.
Property.
Yeah. Some people look at it as property, these buildings or money. People think legacy is money. You just got everybody think goes about legacy differently. But for the sake of this conversation, we're talking about legacy being children, kids. But legacy can come in all shapes and forms for people depending on who you're talking to. Because you have some people that don't ever want to have kids, but they want to have all the money in the world, and they'll be like, "Well, this empire that I built is my legacy." You know what I'm saying? They look at that empire as their child.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, let's take Beyonce, who is at the same level as a Nick Cannon as far as like financially, right? She has what? Unless she has more, she probably has.
No. Go ahead. Bring. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm with you, but I'm not with you. But go ahead.
So I'm saying, okay, Beyonce is a woman who has a lot of money. I don't know her net worth. I don't even know Nick's net worth. I just know that they're good.
Yeah. They don't have to worry.
Right. So, but she has 3 kids, right? She doesn't have 8, but I promise you the 3 that she has, whatever they choose to do, they are going to be able to carry on whatever legacy that she has, just the 3. So my point is, why do you have to continue popping them out or shooting them out, as Jay Stan said, in order to create a legacy? Why can't you carry on that legacy through 2 kids, 3 kids, 5 kids? Why does it have to be 8?
Well, I think for one reason, because you never know how the kids are going to take it, how your kids are going to take it, or if they're going to grow up and want to keep that legacy going on, period. Like they might not even want to be in the business, and then your thing ends up going to get selling off to somebody else that's going to tarnish it, make it look bad, not how you wanted it to look. Versus if you have a lot of kids, you have more options of it staying in the family. It continuing going the vision that you wanted and all that jazz. That's one reason how I look at it.
Okay.
I'll hit it from 2 different angles. All right, you said Beyonce and Nick Cannon. That's not even a fair comparison. But anyway,
I was just thinking of a woman who makes a lot of money.
Yeah, I feel.
I mean, they probably make the same.
I mean, my whole thing is Beyonce's health isn't ever been like as in bad a shape as Nick Cannon's health. That's the only reason I would say that. Even though women do deal with a lot of things, but his stuff has been like you said, like really, really bad. But I mean, this is the thing too. Like a lot of people got to realize that when you have a lot of kids, like every child has their strengths and every child has their weaknesses. So I'll start with that. Now, every child is a gift from God. But the reality is that, everybody isn't, blessed with, the same things as other individuals around them. If I said that correctly, that's probably the best way I can word it. But him having it with multiple different women, I wouldn't say is the smartest thing to do, because it's just hard for you to get into those households and actually, spend time with your children. But I mean, those women, it takes two to tango, like I said. It can't just be all us blaming him and like, why is he doing that? It's like they agreed. And it's just like, okay, you do understand that if something were to happen to him, there would, or them, but yeah, there wouldn't be, you know what I'm saying? This has to be all planned out. So obviously this is what the people that are involved signed up for. They know what's going on. I mean, it looks taboo to us, but
yeah, I just want to say side note before I forget. I am kind of surprised that the majority of his, I hate to say baby mamas, but we here now. The majority of his baby mamas,
mother of his children,
mothers of his children are non-black, are non-black women, because Nick comes off as being so pro-black, I guess. Not to say that you can't date interracially and be pro-black, but it's just kind of shocking that the majority of these chicks that he's getting pregnant are just white. They ain't even ambiguous. They're just white. I'm just saying.
I mean,
he want to build a legacy, though. Okay.
Well, all I'm saying is this. I'll say this side note. We are the only. I can't depend on what a man's taste is. You like what you like, but at the end of the day, we are the only race that
went to Howard wearing turbans.
All right.
Howard to the people, Dr. Sebi, and here he come. Here's the stepmother. Mother.
I never thought about that.
And she does color. Sir, wake that up.
At the end of the day, this is where, you can't choose who you choose that. Who you love. So he might love every last one of these women, because there are people out there that feel like they are in love with multiple individuals.
You think he loves all of them?
Yes, he does. With the bottom of his heart. Yes, he do.
He may have love for them.
Correct. Correct.
He may have love for them, but I don't know about loving all of them.
Right.
But side note, I will say this though: we are the only race that does say, "Oh, you pro-black," because I don't hear nobody being like, "Oh, a Chinese person, you pro-Chinese," and it's like, "No, I'm Chinese." And then, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things. But he does. I'm just saying we're the only race that does that. It's just a side note.
You know why? Because we're the only ones who do not gatekeep our blackness. Every other community of color, they have no issues with saying, I prefer to date somebody that looks like me. We're the only community that I can think of where we go online and trash each other.
Yeah. Facts.
And so that's why it's a statement when people say black love. It's a statement when you choose to love another black person and procreate with them. That's all I'm saying. Love who you love, but it's just interesting that he's so powerful to the people, but then he purposely impregnates everybody that does not even look like him. Okay.
That's just what he like.
He
like.
Either that or maybe the black woman he slept with, it just didn't happen with them.
Well, there was one. I forgot about her. There was one that got pregnant. I think her name is Jessica. And she's a model. Yes. I can't think of her last name, but she was pregnant. She miscarried. And like the week that she miscarried, he announced that he was having twins with some random IG model. She has an interview about it, but she did get pregnant, and it didn't go through.
But it's also one of those things though, where he's trying to pop out as many kids as possible because his health may possibly be really declining. So it's just like, unfortunately, it's just like, yeah, you having kids right now? Okay, you 8 months. Okay, you over here, you good right here? Okay, bad. You okay? Word. All right, so I got y'all all set up real good. Yeah. So now I'm gonna see all my children being born at the same time. So eventually he's gonna cut off. But I feel like it seems like he's shooting for this round number of 10, in my opinion, because it don't seem like he's slowing down.
I just watched his clip from his show, and he said, "When should I cut it off?" The audience said 10. He said he was gonna have as many as he possibly could. So
I think he'll stop at 10.
What?
Right. But hold on. But I want to kind of take it further. why do we champion, that's the word I'm going to use, why do we champion men like Nick and Future, an NBA young boy who have multiple kids with multiple women?
Well, I wouldn't say that I champion them, but they may be looked at as like they may be looked at as good because they have all the kids and they take care of them. They provide for them and all that type of stuff. So I mean, that may be a reason why people up them because they having all those kids.
I mean, the question I would pose is, so why do we? I mean, I understand like the whole philosophy behind it is that everybody thinks the lifestyle comes with all that, and then people are infatuated by that. Multiple women, society as, you know, I wouldn't say society, but more of the culture has told everybody it's cool for you to have multiple women at like at a time. Be like, oh, you got the term, you got hoes, like you got multiple women you dealing with, you know what I'm saying? And now it's starting to become a trend, like as far as the bunch of mothers of children. I'm not saying the other one. That just sounds a little bit disrespectful to them, to the women that bear children. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just glorifying the lifestyle. A lot of people look at it as, you know what I'm saying, the culture, saying you having multiple women makes you cool. And it's also like vice versa with women. Like women, a lot of women encourage other women to be out there doing somewhat of the same thing, but not having a bunch of kids, but dealing with multiple men at a time.
I mean, with celebrities,
I mean, I'm serious. It's a real thing. Like, you know, it'd be like everyday regular people like, yeah, girl, you go ahead and you keep doing all that. But everybody is not like that. It's all comes down to your preference and who you are and
your
what you can handle and what you like to do. Because at the end of the day, I'm serious. Like, we sitting here saying that, you know, we're talking about glorifying Future, Lil Wayne, Nick Cannon, all of them having multiple kids, but NBA young boy, and then we looking at, you got to look at it from the perspective as well as, you know, there are women that are also encouraging other women to somewhat indulge in this type of behavior.
So this is my pushback on that. You have men you have men like Kevin Samuels, who has a very big platform at this point. I don't know why, but he does. And he will tell men that's in our generation that a single mother is not high value, whatever that means. And then he has those conversations, and then it breaks down into these podcasts and these think pieces and these clubhouse rooms and whatever else of other men saying the same kind of thing. So all of that to say, I think that we have normalized men specifically being able to procreate with whoever. Women can do that, of course, takes two to tango. However, women are trashed far more than men who do the same exact thing. And let's be like, the woman, the lady could have 4 kids by the same guy, but the fact that she has 4 kids, she has no value according to someone like a Kevin Samuels or people that follow him.
I don't know if that's all the way true. Basically, what he was getting at in certain parts. I think it's just one of those things where it comes down to like, okay, you have possibly multiple kids, which isn't, I mean, like I said, kids are God's gift. You know what I'm saying? But you got to find somebody that's willing to deal with, you know, the kids as well as love you at the same time, which is completely fine. I mean, there are people out there that, you know, will take on that responsibility, but it also comes down to like, what are you requiring from somebody that you want to be what you like? Say, for instance, like it goes back to the checklist that we discussed on a few episodes ago, where it's just like, what you expect from somebody, it shouldn't be crazy how like, I want a man with $100,000 salary job. I need this, that, and the third. It's just like, that shouldn't, you should be trying to find somebody that you like. You over here trying to find stuff to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I feel like that's the disconnect with that conversation and when other people try to have the conversation and it comes down to the whole bashing of women with multiple kids, because people misinterpret that whole part right there. What the main gist of that conversation comes down to is just that some people's requirements, or like, you know, when it comes to dating people or being with somebody, are extremely too high. And it's just like, oh yeah, you can't have no kids. And it's just like, okay. But then it's just like, okay, then don't mess with that person. And then for the people that have kids, sometimes their standards may be too high. I guess that's what he was trying to get at. But I don't know. Everybody should have some type of standards, but it shouldn't be nothing crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's wild to me. Like, you want somebody with $100,000, huh? That's like 10% of like Americans. Like,
hear
that's
anyone
crazy.
saying that other than these little random model chicks on Instagram. I don't know any woman that has ever flat out said to me or like to a dude that they're dating, you have to make 6 figures. I've never heard that, but I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
Hey, hold on, whoa, time out. Wait a
heard it.
minute. Hey, wait a minute, Kendall.
What?
You like say something?
Oh, I was just saying she's about the part where she said she never heard women saying you got to make a certain amount of money. Because
I'm saying real women, like women, everyday women.
Whoa, Kendall, can you please?
What do you mean by real women?
I'm saying everyday women. I'm not talking about these random girls who we don't even know who's on Instagram posting pictures all day. I'm talking about I'm talking about everyday woman who works her own job, has her own stuff. I have yet to hear an actual person say that. They might say it on social media, but are they truly, have y'all dated somebody and they said, you need to be making this much?
Well, when you put it that way, then no. I haven't dated somebody that's asked for that, but I have witnessed and seen plenty of women like basically.
If you ain't got this, then you can't mess with me.
Yeah, all that. All right. Or if you can't take me out here, then we ain't going. Be like, you want to take me where? No, we cancel.
And it's also one of those things too that a lot of people got to realize when you were trying to request more out of somebody because you were able to achieve that, you sometimes got to understand that there are special exceptions because there are a lot of exceptional women out there, and I will say men too, or people in general that can achieve more than the everyday regular person. There are people with special gifts that you just can't stop. Like your gift's gonna take off, and whatever you do, sometimes you can't expect what you do out of somebody else because what you do may be, you know what I'm saying, crazy to somebody, like a crazy ass from somebody else. It might be crazy, like, you know what I'm saying, like you bringing in all this, is like that person may not be capable of it, but they might be good at something.
Would y'all date a single mother?
I mean,
yeah, I have, but you can continue.
Wouldn't have a problem with it. I say my mom's a single mother, so I definitely wouldn't have a problem with it. I do it.
I mean, it also depends on the situation too, because you got to think about it. If the father of that child, for instance, in this scenario, since we talking about from mother and a woman and a single her child, it's just that, you know, that situation has to be stable because you can't be around all of that and then the father of the child bouncing in and he's, you know, on 10 every time. Like, that's not it. That's not a safe situation. So Daisha, since you asked us, would you date a father and a son or a daughter? Would you, Daisha?
What?
A single father. You worded that. Single father, Daisha.
Yeah. I have already. And I could understand why somebody would have a hard time with it. It really just depends on the co-parenting situation. Like, is that healthy? Is there a lot of back and forth? Is there still bitterness there? Or are y'all respectful? And if it's not a healthy co-parenting situation, then no, I wouldn't be able to do that. But I don't have a problem with it as long as everybody's adults. Like, my mother was a single mother and got married to somebody else and it was fine. So like, I've seen a healthy version of that and I feel like it's possible, but I've also seen a toxic version of that when it comes to my father's side. So like, I see both sides. I can understand why someone would say, yeah, no, I'm good. But, you know, to each his own.
Just depends on.
All right, so I understand that. So I mean, let's try to bring it back home. So do you feel like society is being what's the word? Why do you feel like society is being driven to glorify people having multiple children by different mothers then?
Because that's all they see.
I don't think society normalizes that. I think the Black community normalizes that. Like,
the Black community?
Yes.
I don't know, man. You know, you do have a lot of white people that deal with the same stuff. They just don't talk about it in the nature that we do. Because I've ran into some cats that you know, like that situation is just like that, and I'm just like, welcome.
Multiple wives and all that stuff.
Yeah, like that. It's like the children is what I'm talking about. I've ran into their kids. Like I've been in college with somebody that his family is, basically what we discussing type stuff. And it's different just listening to them talk. Like that situation it's wild to me, but there's a lot of people living this, what we talking about. I mean, I haven't personally experienced it, but I do know I come from a 2-parent household, which is rare. The older I get, I start to realize that not everybody, is able to experience that, and it's just different. So,
I know that exists in other communities. I'm saying I feel like we almost make it a joke. Like we're the ones that coined the terms baby mama, baby daddy. There's songs about it. Like Boosie, one of his most famous songs is
tell her that you love it. If you
we got that, and Boosie has a song as well. So like it's become a part of hip hop culture, if that's how you want to call it. So I don't know, but again, I feel like it's more normalized for men, because I think people think it's like, oh well, men have to what's the term, sow their oats sort of thing, like do their thing.
Know, there's a lot of, now that you said that, there's a lot of songs about mothers and children.
Yeah,
there's a lot of songs. The one that came to mind was Fujiano Molly. We talking about her baby mama ain't she won't let me see my son.
Oh, I remember that now.
Yeah, I was like, bro, I was like,
oh my
people
God,
bad disrespectful in hip hop, bro. But no,
isn't Boosie's song started off baby mama, I'm tired of you, and he got about 8.
Well, so that beat start jumping, and then people be saying the words, don't know what they saying, and then you start to think about it, you're like, dang boy, that's crazy. I'm sitting there rapping this word for word. My man really bashing his baby mama. Like,
right. You really talking cash shit about it. Like, God, hey.
But I just feel like, like I do agree with you. It is an issue in the Black community. We do glorify that a little bit more than any other ethnicity, I would say. I don't know. What do you guys think we could do to change that?
Well, before we got there, I was going to ask, what does that mean for the next generation? Before we even get to how do we change that, like, what does that mean currently that we have this culture of the whole multiple kids, multiple households? What does that mean for those kids?
Well, we talk about Nick Cannon's kids, or we just talking about kids in general?
Children, because they ain't the only ones. I have a basketball team of siblings as well, so I get it. That's what I'm saying. Like, what does that mean for the kids who grow up in that type of environment?
Got a couple things. I mean, they won't ever be alone.
Yeah,
somebody will be
definitely big family.
That's the pros. I'm just saying the pros, man. The rose and the thorn. They're good.
She was like, nah.
She was like, no, I don't like that.
No.
Anyway, but nah, man. You'll never be alone. That's the pro. But the con is that you won't ever get that quality time that you'll more likely need from your parental guardian or the person, your parent. To whomever it may be, either the mother or the father, you just won't get that time, or vice versa. That's the biggest issue with that, with multiple kids coming from like that situation. You just won't get the time you needed, because being present is very important. Like, you got a recital and you're not prepared for it, practice your butt off. You get out there, your parents or the people that raise you being there, it really makes a difference.
Yeah. Because
otherwise, you just get there, you grow up bitter, and you're like, damn, you ain't never been there for me. That's
right.
Real.
Right. Cause David, I agree with all of that. And really, I disagree with all that. Y'all basically said it all on that part.
Yeah, I agree with Justin. I think that kids who grow up in that, speaking as a child from that, kids who grow up in that type of environment. So for me, I'm trying to think, going back to childhood, you said that you'll never be alone. So for some kids, that sounds like a fantastic time. For little Daisha, that was chaotic. Like, I'm a person who is more introverted. So to be in a house filled with kids left and right. They bring in, I just have memories of like, let's say they bring in pizza and you got to get in where you fit in because there's so many people just in one. It just felt chaotic to me. So yeah, it's like you can have those fun times, but at the same time, it's chaotic. And then also you have to share your parent with multiple people. Fast forward into adulthood, I'm the oldest. So you already know, I don't know if y'all have siblings, I feel like. I don't know if y'all are older, younger, but
I'm the
older, but I have a sibling, yeah.
So when you're the oldest kid, 9 times out of 10, your younger siblings are going to come to you for whatever, whether that's advice, money, whatever. If you have one younger sibling,
hey, hold up, wait, say that last one again.
I said money.
All right, cool, boom. That's why I said, all right, you can continue. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, money, advice, a place to sleep, food, whatever. Like they're coming to you because they trust you, right? It's one thing if you have one younger sibling that you're responsible for. It's another thing when you have 6 and 7. That's my number. So it's like you then become almost like a second, third parent to these kids that you didn't ask to be here. So it's like, I get we're trying to paint this little rainbow, happy family, yay, the legacy. But
I paid that.
I'm saying
just stated the pros. It's definitely
general,
negatives.
They should just going straight negative. I'm
not saying like it can be positive to have relationships, but at the same time, it's not easy having multiple siblings separated. It's not. And this is coming from somebody who's lived it. This ain't me just speaking because this is what I lived it. So I get it. Yeah. So that's where I stand on that. So your question was, I forgot what you said.
What can we do to make this situation better? Specifically in our community, what are some things that we can do to make it better as far as not glorifying, this behavior? What are some things that we can do to better educate or help the community?
Basically stop using the baby mama terms and all that type of stuff. They really have to be shown one father, one mother households, like, and that family type of thing. They just got to be shown it, because right now all they being shown is having multiple kids, different baby mom. Well, I'm gonna stop using baby mamas because that's how we changed it. But
yeah,
see, you laughing. I literally just said that, so I'm gonna stop using mothers of kids, like you said. So, dang, where was I going? I just lost my thought. Just said quit. Man,
You're saying along the lines of just better word choice when we come to discussing,
just better word
having children.
Yeah, better word choice. And telling them basically when they listening to the music to like that's not typically the life that you want to live. Mm-hmm. But it's okay to turn up to it, have fun, and all that other type of stuff. But that's not typically the life you want to live. That's the life that they live, and they're just telling their story. So you may not have to. So you don't have to go through it, and you learn from it. So there's no need to glorify it, but and show them the right way at the same time. Yeah, like they can listen to the music and all that stuff, but at the same time, the parents have to be showing them the right way, as well as putting all that type of stuff on TV and all that, because it's flooding television and all that stuff now.
Yeah, they should.
That's it.
I think maybe when you're in the dating stage and if you choose to have sex with somebody, try to take it a few steps further as to like, can I see myself having a child with this person? Like, even if we don't work out, can I handle co-parenting with this person? And if not, wrap it up. Or just don't even, mess with that person.
Club up.
I think,
don't do that.
Because a night of fun will end up with a lifetime of issues. So just saying.
That is one of issues. I wouldn't say issues, but I wouldn't say issues, but I will say this: a lot of issues that older men will discuss that they had is having a child by the wrong person. That is a real thing.
Oh, but yeah, I definitely heard that.
Let me pause. Let me pause because I feel like it's coming off harsh. Every child, every child, of course, is a blessing, right?
These kids, gift from God.
These kids,
yes.
These kids did not ask to be here, right? But at the same time, you want to make sure that you're setting them up with a good foundation. And to me, a good foundation means that you're trying to be careful about the environment you're going to raise them in. Things happen, right? Sometimes, oops, it happens and you deal with it. But in situations like the Nick Cannon thing, you don't want to purposely go out and keep creating children in broken, like it's too much. That's what I'm saying. It's the difference between messing up and then like you purposely doing this.
Did you say oops?
I did say
oops, it happened.
I mean, were you planned? Were you a planned baby?
Who, Justin?
Yeah.
You know, this is certain things you just don't ask. You know?
I was not playing. I know that I wasn't playing. So that's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't dare ask. I know I'm here though. You know.
Yeah. I believe I was playing. Yeah.
You know, it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. You know what I'm saying? Like if you really sit down with your parent or whomever, and you start asking questions, sometimes you might find out a little bit more than what you wanted to know.
But those conversations are important. I was oops. Okay, like that's fine. I'm here. I'm fine.
So you asked them that?
Oh, I knew it. Like my mama had a full ride to college and then got pregnant her sophomore year. I knew I was an oops. Like I didn't even flat out ask her that. I know that. But that's what I'm saying. Like me having those conversations with her, I knew when I was younger, okay, I'm not happy. If I went my mother's route, I would have had a 7-year-old right now. I couldn't even wrap my head around that. No. So I think those conversations are important to have of like, this is what I did. Yes, you're good and you're healthy, but like it was very hard. I'm sure if she could have done it over again, I would have came much later in her life, not when she was in college. So, Justin, why you look stunned and uncomfortable? I can't really read.
I was just digesting. I wasn't saying nothing. I mean, hey.
I mean, it's real.
Life comes
though.
at you fast. But yeah, I mean.
It's real. What do you think we could do to change things? Or did you already answer that?
No, you didn't. I was about to. I was just letting you, speak, remaining cordial under everything. But I mean, what we could do to change is just be, mindful of like Kendall hit on earlier, word choice. When we do discuss certain matters that do involve, women that do have children or the mother of somebody's child. Or mother of multiple, children and whatnot. But just be mindful of how we, say things. When we're listening to music, just realize that we can't be, glorifying everything that's being said. And it's just a fantasy world. Like a lot of people's mindsets come from like music or these movies they may have watched that may, be pro whatever, this is. I can't really, give it a name per se. But polygamous, is that the word? Huh? No. Anyway, all right.
Maybe. No. Lost. Sorry. What'd you say?
Polygamy.
You're saying that those people who do that are pro-polygamous?
I was just saying we can't, work. This is what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is that in order for us to stop, in a sense, like being pro that or whatnot, is that we just gotta be mindful of what we say and then respect everybody. But see, this gives a conflict for me. Because at the same way, it's like, who are we to tell somebody how to live their life? Right. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that anyone could tell anyone how to live their lives, but I will promise you one thing. When you continue to have certain patterns like this, then your child ends up in my office. And you continue the cycle of having these attachment issues and these mental health problems because we think it's cute to shoot the club up, like y'all just said, and have all of these kids in all these different cities and states. It's not cool. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we can't tell anybody what to do, of course not, but you can obviously try to have real conversations with them because it's serious. It takes a lot more than throwing money at somebody to raise a child. Yeah, so, I mean, I want what's best for everybody. And I don't think that purposely going out and doing what he's doing is good. I mean, it might feel good for him, but I can promise you at least a few of his kids are going to have some attachment issues. They're going to. I mean, you build that in infancy. And if one of your parents is always gone, yeah, you see him on TV. Yeah, you hear him on the radio. But a kid doesn't care about the latest Jordans. I mean, they might say that, but they want your time as well. So,
but just in Nick's case, you know, his health, he don't want to speak it, but you know, he may not be there. He may be gone regardless. So, I
mean, that money.
I feel like that's why he may be doing it.
Money talk too.
That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate that they might view their kids as a bag, but have to. Because who would sign up to do that? They don't.
All the women. That's
what I'm saying. Like, who would sign up to do that unless they're getting something out of it?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I mean. So, yeah, I'm sure that they, you know, whatever that check looked like, they're good on it. I hate to say it that way, but hey.
Yeah. That's crazy. Now you put it that, that's crazy.
You saw Drake put hot sauce in his condom and the girl was trying to get her bag. So I mean, it happens.
I don't know about all that, man. That's hot sauce in the condom. Like what?
Yeah, you didn't hear about that?
No, I heard about it, but that's what it had me like. Like that was crazy. Like what? Like he's no, man, no. I don't even think about
that was smart.
It's smart.
I said in his case it was smart because obviously she was trying to inseminate herself.
Yeah, but also you gotta realize that a lot of these people don't look at celebrities as actual people anymore. They look at them as like symbols or ways to get cash.
Yeah.
So they're not even being really looked at as human beings anymore. It's really sad. So I feel like in Nick Cannon's case, that's just what it is. Like these people that are having children with him, I don't feel as if though they look at him as a human being. They just look at him as a way of a means to an end. That's the way it comes off.
But then what does that say about the other person? You know that this person is looking at you as a bank and yet you still give your body to them. What does that say about you?
Minus Mariah Carey.
Yeah, minus her. I think they actually loved each other.
Yeah, but she had more money than him. He signed a whole prenup to be with her. But anyway.
But they actually loved each other. I mean, this man got her name tatted on his back.
Well, that was the only way she was going to be with him. She had to know her.
She's like, tat that.
So maybe that's another thing too of like, I get it. When you're younger, you're having fun. But at some point, I feel like you need to be a little more careful about, I guess, the value you're placing in sex too. I don't know that you want to sleep around with any and everybody just because.
Yeah, that is true.
They're accessible.
That is true. True.
You know,
can't tie your souls with everybody.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just shit start happening to you. You don't know. You don't even got an explanation for it.
Wake up mad.
Right. Like what the fuck is wrong with me?
Okay.
That was heavy.
Okay, well, let us know in the comments below. What do you guys think about this whole Nick Cannon situation? And are we normalizing the whole BMBD culture within the Black community? Join us every Friday at noon.
And always remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
All right. And thanks, Kendall, for coming on, joining the conversation.
No problem. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate that,
for having me on. Thanks y'all for having me on.